Welcome in, welcome back. This is the Lower Rung podcast. I have my volume way too high. What's going on, people? I am your host, Austin Grubbs. My guest host here, John B. We are both sales reps over at windowcleaner.com. If you don't know who we are, we have our phone numbers on the screen. We do this podcast not only to make content because we're both in the industry, but to help you guys questions on your equipment, questions on just pricing, things that have to do with the window cleaning business. Call us, text us, email us. How's it going, John? I think we had a Black Friday video on Black Friday. We did a live, and the week before we did a pre-recorded record that never hit the internet because my internet's horrible. I'm going to get a Wi-Fi booster tomorrow, so pray to God that Best Buy has a Wi-Fi booster in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, the good thing about the show is that even if nobody sees it, it's going to be a damn great show regardless. So, you
Amen,
know,
brother.
whether or not it reaches the masses, we had a pretty good time, and we covered some window cleaning topics. I had a good time on that live though, Black Friday. That was pretty fun. Um, in between, kind of just like a crazy day. I think we covered a little bit of Thanksgiving kind of stuff there, but it was pretty cool to go to have that go live, and maybe we can get some more interaction going further if we do any more lives.
Yeah. A live platform is always great. Steve-O and Jersey do a live. Squeegee Life Podcast does a live. It's nice to have all the guys out in there, in the comments section. It definitely not only helps the show, but that's kind of the whole reason we do this is to talk to you guys. We are, I'm a window cleaner. John B is in the window cleaning industry. That's kind of what we do. That's how we make our bread. And I feel like every convention and every sales trip, I always talk to the guys, Steve-O, Jersey, John. We're like, you know what, this year, we're not going to talk about window cleaning. We're going to have a good time. And what happens every year? We end up talking about window cleaning.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, even if when we do lives or something like that, not just the interaction, but I guess, if we can teach people anything or if they can even teach us, I mean, it's just kind of a good give and take, and, we can send links, and, because there's always new products coming out. I mean, I saw the, what do we call it? It's like it kind of has the same kind of function, like with the white scrub pads for the water fed
The
setup.
deep
What do we
scrub,
call it? That's right.
the
Yeah, I
zero
mean,
deep scrub.
it's pretty sick that we're always coming out with new stuff. I mean, just going through, we have a little kind of board where all the items go or packages go that we're putting together, and it's cool to see how active that is. The high flow hose coming in, and all these different options for kind of customizing your setup. I think it's pretty killer.
Yeah, I mean, I think you touched on a good topic there. You should never feel like you've arrived. You should never feel like you know everything. We were talking about that off air earlier. I was troubleshooting with a guy, and I was like, "Well, I hate to break it to you. I hate to say I don't know, but I've gone through everything I could possibly think of, and I really don't know what the issue is. I wish I had a magical fairy wand, to make your system work, but sometimes I don't know."
Yeah, the thing about troubleshooting is the word trouble is still in, within that word. So sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can halfway figure it out and get it to work to a certain extent. But when you're working with water fed and your systems getting high readings, it's kind of a no go. But sometimes it's a mystery. Unfortunately, we were saying.
Yeah. We were even talking about homeowners here. So, we are in the industry of customer service. All of you window cleaners out there know that customers can be extremely strange sometimes. I've had a lot of customers where I'm like, they're not all there. They're rich for a reason. I don't know if you know this, but really rich people are often strange. Maybe that's why they're rich. I don't know. Maybe I'm not strange enough, but like, I was talking to a 70-year-old lady that wanted to buy a water fed system and a 40-foot pole because she said no one would clean the windows at her 3-story condo. And I was like, you can't get one window cleaner to go out there and clean your condo? I mean, where do you live? I'll drive out there. Like, I couldn't
Right.
see a year old holding a 40-foot pole.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty. Some of the stuff that if I speak to people who are homeowners, and I guess if they've seen somebody, a window cleaner, use a water for purification system and are curious about it, and have the money to do it, and have a large enough house, really, because I would only think that it would be necessary if you had a large enough home with a lot of glass. Um, in that sense, I think you might be able to, I guess, save money. Maybe you've got a house with a really good view that you want to show off. I've heard people mention that a bunch of times who are homeowners and stuff like that. But I always try and stress that it's really equipment for pro window cleaners. I mean, you see it at even the level of just traditional cleaning, where somebody wants to just use a squeegee on their shower, and I'm like, well, you know what? I mean, we sell these to pro window cleaners. I suppose you can use them on your home. It's not just meant for pro window cleaners, but at the same rate, we don't want to give somebody something that you know they might not fully utilize.
I just find it weird. So let me put it into perspective here. So you're paying your window cleaner, let's say $800 a year. You get your house cleaned twice a year, $800 a year. You're going to go out and spend $3,000. And like in your mind, like you said, I'm saving money. It's going to pay for itself in a couple of years, but what is your time worth? If you're really this rich and you have this big mansion, you're going to spend all day cleaning your glass because let's face it, window cleaners can get your house done very quickly, but you're not a window cleaner. Okay. I know we're all glorified janitors and everybody can clean windows and blah, blah, blah. But once you get the system, you're going to realize it's not as easy as it sounds, even though water fed is fairly easy. But like, if I had a guy coming to clean my carpet, I wouldn't go spend 9 grand on a professional carpet cleaning system to save some money. I don't understand that. But hey, whatever.
And I guess it's the kind of same thing as if I learned and studied long enough, I could learn to properly cut my own hair and get the right scissors, get the right things. But really, it's not expensive to get a haircut, but I just don't care to get into the nitty gritty of you know getting into that world. I mean, do people really want to change out their resin? I mean, we make it easy so you could just replace the cartridge if you wanted to, but do you really want to, like, I don't know, go through that? And is everybody going to winterize the system? Are they going to properly maintain it? I mean, I guess it's a little easier because it's not on the go constantly. But yeah, it's always a tough thing when you try and tell somebody that it's for pros, so you can certainly use it, and I'm not going to not sell it to you, but I just want you to know that it requires some maintenance. It is meant for more than one home. I mean, realistically, it's used to make money, preferably. you know,
It's so funny you
I don't
say
know.
that because I always think about that. Like the first time they use it, no big deal. But when I talk to homeowners, they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to clean maybe twice a year." And I'm like, "Okay, well your zero pure can't sit for 6 months. Like, do you know
Hmm.
that? Like, you're going to
Hmm.
have to run some water through it. You're going to have to change your filters." Yeah, yeah, no big deal. No big deal. They're going to forget. They're absolutely going to forget. It's going to sit in the
Oh
garage
yeah.
and in a year I'm going to get a call.
Yep. Yeah, something's frozen, something, you can only imagine what might be an issue after that, just, having a system sit for that long. And, 3 weeks sounds like a long time, but we all know when you're living through it, it goes quickly. And, I have some interesting phone calls of people who, want to set this up and mount it to a wall in their home and want to have it on a timer. And I'm like, okay, I mean, because some of these people aren't window cleaners, but they know about water purification, and I'm like, I think you might know more about this than I do as far as like home water purification and everything like that. So you might be able to utilize this system in that way. But I'm always like, I just want to specify that this is for window cleaning. I mean, the Zero Pure has wheels to be mobile for most cases. I don't know if you've
I
run into any of that.
Yeah, I had a guy, he said the same thing. He said something off of the basis of, "Oh, I have one of those under my kitchen sink." And I was like, "You have a Zero Pure
Right.
under your kitchen sink?" And I we went through everything and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hook it up to where I can shower with pure water and I can drink pure water." And I was like, "Look, this RO is rated for 2,500 gallons a day, okay? You know how quickly you're gonna run through 2,500 gallons a day? You're not gonna wash your clothes with pure water and shower and drink out of it, like, it's gonna use up pretty quick. And then, to piggyback off of that, I had a guy who had, like, a DIY setup, and he couldn't
Hmm.
understand why his TDS was low, and basically what he was doing is not changing his resin. He bought a gigantic water softener, which is salt, to put before the Zero Pure, and he's like, "My TDS won't drop," and I was like, "Yeah, salt purification is not the same as reverse osmosis purification." Like, salt, a lot of homeowners think, "Oh, I have a water softener, you don't even need that." No, like, making it softer is not making it purer, if that makes any
Right,
sense.
right. Yeah. I guess the problem is, well, maybe not problem, but it's just meant. You can stress it as much as you want, but it's like specifically designed for window cleaning and solar panel cleaning. I mean, um, in the same fashion that I'm sure you could use, a squeegee as a decorative item. I mean, it's meant to clean windows ultimately, but some people, I just try and tell them. I mean, hopefully they've looked at the website and done a little bit of reading. Most of the people I talk to do the research or have seen a couple of videos. And, but yeah, I guess there is a little bit of misconception sometimes with what our system. I mean, the other day I had a woman. I mean, we get calls that people think that zero is a breath strip or something like that. I mean,
Shoes.
I get
Have you
all
got a
different
call
kinds
for the shoes yet?
of.
The Zero shoes?
No shoes, no shoes. I got one of a strip that goes on the roof of your mouth. That's called like a zero strip that is supposed to like make your mouth less dry at night or something. I'm like, I don't
Dude,
think I can help you.
I got a call the other day, and we do get calls rarely of people that are very upset, and I mean very upset. This guy called in, and he was so mad because his shoes wore out like 3 months into him wearing them, and I was like, I don't think you have the right number." He's like, "This is 0, right?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, technically." And he's like, "Yeah, I ordered these shoes and I had no idea. So I looked it up. There's a brand, XERO, Zero Shoes." And this dude was pissed and he was mad that I couldn't help him. It was
He's
awesome.
like, it says you have a 12-year warranty.
Yeah. I was like, "Brother, you called the wrong number. I don't know what to tell you." But then at that point, they're like, "I don't want to use Google. Transfer me." Like, all right, I'll transfer you. All right. I don't know who I'm transferring you to, but
It's pretty great. I guess it means that our advertising is good when our number comes up for, other things, but, the link would specify that it's for like window cleaning. So.
oh yeah, I had a guy the other day. I don't know if anyone knows this or not. This may be top secret, but Zero is WCR's brand. If you didn't know that, Zero's our in-house brand. And this guy was like, "Hey, this is wrong with this. Who do I need to talk to?" And I was like, "I can fix that for you." He's like, "No, I don't think you understand me. I didn't buy this from WCR. I bought it from Zero." I was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
right.
totally. I can fix that. You have a 12-year warranty." He's like, "No, you're not understanding me. I bought this directly from Zero." And I was like, "Yeah, that's us." He's like, "I'm on the phone with them." And I'm like, "You're on the phone with us. Like, that's us." Like,
It's like
he
that
just,
meme of Spider-Man shooting at each other.
yeah. I was like, "All right, well, just deal with them. They'll figure it out."
Right, right. Go head on over to Zero. You can do a different voice on the phone, right? Pretend like you're higher up. Oh, that
Let me get
Austin
my
guy, he's
manager
working
real
hard,
quick.
but man,
I'm firing Austin right now. This is
yeah.
ridiculous and uncalled for.
Oh my God, that's great, man. So I don't know if we touched on it because I don't think it was live yet, but the 15 days of deals, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. We've had some interesting ones that were like brand specific. The other day was Pulex, I believe.
Mhm.
Today we're doing gutter cleaning, tools, accessories, chemicals, you know. Um, I don't know about you, but we got flurries here today. But I'm sure you guys are still window cleaning and warm enough to, handle a lot of gutter cleaning. I mean, you could probably still do it in my area, but it's starting to get to the point where, it's 35 up to noon and, kind of brutal.
Yeah, it was like 47 when I woke up, but it got to mid 60s throughout the day. It sucks, dude. I won't lie to you. I've been in the industry for in January it'll be 7 years, and
Mm,
every year I forget about the winter. I'm like, man,
yeah,
March to August, I'm like, I'm making so much money, and then November to February, I'm like, is my phone on? Like,
yeah,
am I ret I don't know what's going on. Like, it's
yeah.
winter. I forget every year. You're like squirrels, dude. You have to, like, save those nuts for the winter, but every year I get here and I'm like, "I have no money," and money's not coming in.
Right, right. Yeah, it's an important time of the year. I guess not only for us as sales reps, and you still window clean, obviously, and to kind of shift gears in a certain way of just like either, I mean, you're shifting gears physically because you're not handling so many jobs. I mean, for me, not so much physically, but
Yeah, yeah,
mentally, you have to kind of gear into another kind of just shift into a different mode of, for us as sales, it's just kind of like, doing stuff like this, preparing for the spring in just kind of like getting material together and just making sure that we, grasp people and, keep everybody's interest, if not just like work on things for, our brand, or if you will,
yeah,
and, just kind of trying to make sure that we can get some people to remember these faces and remember our names, and and for window cleaners it's a little bit of the same, and I think you could probably speak a little bit more to that, but I started writing for the window cleaning magazine, and
mm,
a lot of the articles are like prep on what to do, and like how to like scale back things, and just kind of like gearing up for the next season. So I don't know. I don't know if you wouldn't mind speaking on that a little bit.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I forget every year. It's absolutely miserable. Not only is it cold outside, and I know I'm from Texas, everybody can make fun of me. It's not that cold. It's not as cold as Wisconsin, but it's cold. No one wants to work outside. The homeowners don't want to call you. I've always found it strange that window cleaning and soft washing just dies. Like residential, they
Yeah.
just don't want anyone at their house, which is weird. Um, People are gone for the vacations. Like there's a lot of snowbirds, so people live up north and they go down to Florida for the winter.
Mm,
Just weird things happen, and like you said, you're worried about your tax deductions. You want to spend as much money as you can, so you're not paying a ton of taxes in April. You're working on inventory, trying to get that stocked up for spring. The last thing you're kind of worried about is, systems and stuff like that. But, you know, it's just a miserable time. Winter, we get through it every year, but it's just kind of like one of those days you're like, did I stock up enough food to eat this winter? Cause it's getting a little rationed around here.
yeah, you're starting to look around and see what you got, and I guess you're kind of taking inventory in all aspects, really. I know you mentioned sales wise, you're switching over to like, and I don't, you can let me know if this is top secret, but you've switched over to writing stuff down physically. Um, do you do that with window cleaning as well. Like, have you transferred? Are there stuff that you like notes that you've looked at from like last year? Yeah, there you go. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
curious about that.
oh, let me get my okay, there we go. Bumped my little microphone there, but yeah, and this is just like a me thing, maybe, this is not for you, but I've had CRMs for years, which CRMs are amazing. CRMs make your life easier. You can keep all your database of customers, their address, their phone number, everything, but like, so I'm in sales and I clean windows. So it's the same industry and it
Sure.
collides sometimes. So I have screenshots on my phone, I have screenshots on my iPad, I have screenshots on my laptop. I have notes on all three that are simultaneously, not iCloud, and it just it gets lost sometimes. So I hate for someone to call in on a Saturday and be like, "Hey, I'm checking on this part." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll get back to you Monday." And I'm like, "Did I write that note on my iPad or my phone or my laptop?" Like, I have no idea. And then your window cleaning customers, they're calling in, they want a quote, and you're like, where did I write that down? So I went back to pen and pad, physical. I don't want to get too ayahuasca on you, but like, your brain is like an energy. Your brain's like a field. Like writing it down does something to your brain to where you're like, you remember. And so, yeah, I went back to pen and paper, dude, of like, okay, you calling for an estimate, writing it down, your name, your address, your phone, the quote. If you're calling for sales, you're looking at a zero pure and a pro basic 40. I'm writing it down. I don't know. For me, that's just a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, if I've learned anything about window cleaners, is that everybody has their own method. It's a subject we touch on a lot where, something that works for this guy might not work for you. And, I guess it's just finding what works for you and what works for you now, right? Because what worked for you might not work for you right now. You might be in a different mental space where, now I want everything on an iPad or whatever. So, yeah, I think it's just experimenting and maybe, toward the winter, you have a little bit more time to toy with stuff like that, and see what works, what doesn't, I, I guess maybe trying to learn and apply that stuff throughout the year and throw out stuff that didn't work in the previous year, right? Just kind of like after you rest, I guess, just I don't know. Do you take a lot of time off of window cleaning or just really just like get in as many you can?
Well, I've changed directions ever since I got into sales. I think it's been 2 years
All
now
right.
that I've been in sales. Uh, it used to be I would clean, 6 to 7 days a week. Never really liked working on Sundays personally. It's kind of a family day, but then I went down to like solely 6 days a week. And then I was like, yeah, I really don't like working on Saturdays. And I went down to 5 days a week. And then what really made me change was the beginning of my sales journey with WCR. I was doing 5 days a week in the field and, hit or miss on sales, but it was hard to be on a roof spraying bleach and then get down, take a phone call, or, you're cleaning windows with an earbud in, and you're talking about, God knows what. And I was like, I can't, I only have so much time in my, brain, and I can't get burnout, and I need to sacrifice, one or the other. So
Yeah.
I started cleaning 2 days a week in the field and doing the rest sales. And it's a good balance. Obviously, I'm on the weekend chat like 12 hours a day, but it's a good balance. I mean, I sound stupid when I say this, but I feel so old. I feel like 70 years old. Like, I can't climb
Yeah.
ladders all day long anymore. I can't pick up systems out of the bed of my truck anymore. I'm not even 30, but I just feel like, "Man, my knees are hurting, boy."
Yeah, I mean, I guess it falls in line with, kind of running in all cylinders and, mentally leads to like physically and just, that all kind of like crumbling if everything is just, all, things firing and you just, winter is a good time, I think, for people who are solely window cleaners or whether they have other things that they do, but I think just to take it a little bit easier if the weather will affect that and you can't really work. I mean, I always wonder about guys in Florida or like California where like is it just all year that you can window clean? I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of wild. No, you have to like set your limits and your off seasons and really take breaks whenever you want, I suppose.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get into your transition as well here in a second. I wanna touch on that topic briefly. Texas, Florida, and California, it's pretty much all year. All year. We do slow down a little bit, but there's still jobs coming in, and there needs to be a point to where you're like, "Hey, I don't need to clean clean this often." The guys up north, they get, a couple months breaks because they have no choice. And down
Yeah.
here, it's like, maybe go down to 3 days a week or maybe, do something to take care of your body. I know guys, I still talk to guys that have been doing this like 50 years. And I'm like, when is it time to stop climbing ladders all day long? But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure it was a transition for you being in the warehouse. You had a ton of jobs at the warehouse. You weren't just, picking and stocking and doing shipping and receiving. You did a lot of things, but I can imagine the transition from being at the warehouse during the winter to sales is a huge difference.
Oh yeah. I mean, just the like buzz in the warehouse and that takes place. I mean, in the warehouse during spring, it's like you don't even like have a second to take lunch. I mean, you know, you're eating at your desk if you can, and getting in at 8, leaving after 5, making sure that boxes get out and everything because the way that it's set up is so smooth that like you can just jump right in and during the winter or the transitional seasons like that. I mean, obviously we're still, selling daily and, moving stuff, but we're doing a little bit more as far as like things that we couldn't get to, maybe, redesigning certain things to make things more efficient. That's what it's all about over there. And, just kind of making sure that every process is as efficient and smooth as it possibly can be physically or technically, really, whether or not that means like upgrading something or yeah, I mean, changing the workspace over a little bit or yeah, I mean, it's cosmetic stuff that definitely can take a little bit of a you know more examination on during the slower months. But before you know it, it's spring. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I've always thought about that. I've never been to the warehouse, but
Yeah.
I can talk to anyone in the warehouse at any point in the day. I feel like they never take lunch. Is there not like a specific time where everybody takes lunch, or is it like broken down, or is it just like you're staying here? Do you guys go out to lunch? Is that a thing?
Well, so I would get there earlier so that I could head on out, and just have a little bit of time for lunch if I was getting it. Or a lot of times I would do like a chicken salad and then just eat at my desk. And, yeah, if you take time out, because really it's like an 8-hour day, right? So you would come in a little bit earlier, like maybe 30 minutes earlier, so that you can have some time, if you want to take a walk outside or, there's really no designated lunchtime though. It's kind of cool in that sense.
Yeah. I don't want to get WCR sued or anything. Like I know
No,
there's
no,
like
no, no. I think
reprimandations
that's
going around.
like I think that's the right way to do it, really. Where get in like 4 or 5 hours of work. I mean, with today nowadays, people have like different food schedules, I suppose, where people are like, what do you call it, like intermittent fasting, and
Chris
some
does
people
that.
actually aren't even taking lunch, and I could never do that, but
Dude, I was talking to Chris in Tennessee. I don't get to talk to Chris as much as I'd like to. He's a very busy man. And I was just talking to him. We were having some dinner after we closed the booth down, and he was like, "I cannot wait to eat. I haven't eaten all day." And I was like, "You haven't eaten all day?" He's like, "I don't eat till 6. I don't eat all day till 6 p.m." And I was like, "What's wrong with you? How could you do that?" He's like, "No, it's a 7 minute fasting thing, and it works great." And I was like, I always see those sales gurus and those workout guys, and they're like intermittent fasting. I just fasted for 86 hours. I only drank water. I'm like, I feel great. I feel like a superhuman.
Dude, I can't do any of that. I get very testy when I don't eat, to say it lightly, really. I have to eat. Otherwise, I mean, I'm sure it's not great sometimes what I eat or when I'm eating, but for me, it fuels me. It really does. I mean, for
Yeah,
the fasting thing, I guess sometimes I do it, but not anywhere to like a regular schedule. It's really just more of like, oop, forgot to eat because I was
yeah.
busy or whatever.
I'm the same
Never
way.
do
We have a lot of chicken fried steak down here,
it. Ooh.
just soul food. I live in like a small town, I guess you would say, and there's a bunch of shops with like homemade barbecue. And yeah, I
Ooh.
could not do that. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it.
No, no. I would even go. I would go to basically, like a kind of. I don't know if you guys. It's you've heard of like Wawa, right? New York, where the warehouse is at, has these place called Quick Check, and it's similar. The quality is whatever kind of. It's a sub or hoagie or whatever. And really, it's just fuel for me. Just put it down and keep moving. So it was. If I was doing something physical, move back to my desk, get a quick bite to eat. Some people, like I said, weren't even eating. So, for me, it was just got to eat. Once I get that done, right back at it. I would even just take like 15 minutes or something and just try and like burn as much as I possibly could, man, because always something to do in the warehouse.
Yeah, I saw on the live today. I was on a phone call during the live, but
Yeah.
I saw on the live that they're doing more 25-foot storage things, whatever you call those, rafters or whatever you call
Yeah.
them. I'm
Yeah.
like,
More
dude,
of those, they're like bins in like warehouse, like oh God, I
I know.
can't believe I can't remember. They're like racks.
Yeah. And I'm like, eventually this is going to be an Amazon warehouse. I mean, we moved here last year and we already are too big. So they're like making every single space usable. And I'm like, eventually we're going to need 1 million square feet of storage.
I know. I know that there are talks of the landlord of the building expanding to more land over there. So there's no date or word or anything concrete on that, no pun intended. But I think if an opportunity arose where it wasn't such a far move, not that the distance was crazy on the first move, but if it was like really close and a larger space, I think that would be something that was doable. But man, we set up internet in there and everything, which is pretty crazy because the like Wi-Fi receptors, like a lot of them are made for like offices, so they like go into the like ceiling paneling. They're like these circular things that look like discrete. We have them all the way up in the like rafters of the warehouse, and you know, you know, transmitting Wi-Fi so that the people can pick the items, and so that shipping has internet and everything, and it's really smooth. We're on, I think we're on FiOS in there.
I told Alex and Chris there's a place right by my house, 84,000 square feet for rent. If you want to move WCR down to Texas, I would love for you to be down here. Maybe I'll, have a
Right.
little nice little office with like I always picture none of our sales guys are at the office, but I picture like this big O desk with glass everywhere and you got your big office and your standing chair and I don't know. It's a dream.
The cool thing about the setup of the quote unquote office for the warehouse is you're right there in the warehouse. There's not really much of a separation, which I think is perfect because you know, anybody can jump out into the warehouse portion and, if they need to check on something or, look at a delivery or something like that, it's like it's a unique setup, and I could see why somebody would be so interested in like the inner workings. That's why those lives are really cool because you actually get to see the aisles and check out production and everything. And to somebody who's a window cleaner and is just like buying the gear, I think it's just a cool little insight.
Did you ever use the silent box? That's like the coolest thing in the warehouse to me. I don't know why. When you were up there last, uh, or it was probably months ago now. Last time you were up there, did you have to slip into the silent box to take a phone call?
I think that was being utilized.
There's two of them.
I'd rather like be in the mix though. You know what I mean? Like if I have to take a call, I wanted people to kind of know I was there at the warehouse, you know? So
Yeah.
the background noise was kind of cool for me, you know, especially being back home now, you know, working from home. It was just kind of good to be back whenever I go and visit, you know. But that is kind of a cool thing, you know. Obviously, it's hooked up to electricity, so you can just like plug in and yeah. I mean, it's airtight pretty much. You know, you're blocking out all the sound. I've never been in it though.
I want one from my house, dude. Like my office, I have like a sauna in here. I have all my sound gear, and I've thought about putting like panels up to make my sound less verberage. But
Sure.
a silent box, dude. Like if I could just knock a wall down and just make it completely soundproof, because I'm a sound guy. I've always been a sound guy, and I used to record in my closet. I did like 2 voiceovers for WCR, and I got fired. I didn't specifically get fired, but they just didn't ask me to do them anymore. I would like go into my closet and put up mattresses and blankets and pillows to get this perfect voiceover sound. And I guess it didn't work out because I've never been asked to do another one.
That's hilarious. That reminds me of this is completely off topic, but there was this radio show that they did during the Vietnam War. It was like soldiers who would do a radio broadcast to the American soldiers the in Vietnam, and they were in a brothel, and they had like the walls were just like covered in mattresses and anything that could block out any of the sound or anything like that, and pretty cool to check out if you ever hear that
Speaking
guy.
of brothels, I went to Oklahoma a few months ago, and there was this big building, and it was a museum. And I asked my buddy, I was like, "What is that?" Like, there's a bunch of people there standing outside in line, and he's like, "Well, it was a brothel, and now it's a museum, but it's like a brothel museum." It was like
Hmm.
this was legal, and this was the thing, and I was like, "That's cool, a little dirty, but you know."
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
I don't know if I wanna touch anything in there.
Probably not. You'd hope. Oh, maybe that could be a job for you if there's glass partitions. Clean those off. Actually, the silent box has glass too. I don't know if that's cleaned in the warehouse. You could commission that.
Dude, during COVID, I was considered a essential employee. I had to work through all throughout COVID, which was ridiculous. And I was thinking in my head, 'cause I'm jealous of guys who have jobs in grocery stores who do the, cold freezer sections. Like, in
Oh yeah,
my grocery store, there's probably 1,000 freezer doors. Let's say you're at $2 a pop. I mean, that's 2,000 bucks, just freezer doors. And, like, during COVID, they were having like, every Chili's had partitions, every grocery store had partitions. I was like, "I can make a
yeah.
killing off of these
Clean your
partitions."
partition. Yeah, yeah, man.
Go ahead and keep talking.
There
I'm on
were a lot of
speaker, so Imma plug
opportunities
my
like that, I
laptop in.
suppose, right? Yeah. What did you say? Sorry. Oh, Austin has left the building. There he is. Yeah, I guess that opened up a lot of opportunities for different people during the pandemic there. But I was happy to work. I was happy to work through it and not be cooped up at home. I think there was only a period of time where we weren't actually in the office at the time. I mean, this is years back, but thank God we got back when we did because I was itching.
Oh, dude, it was a weird time. Like I watch so many TikToks that are like, in 80 years from now, your grandkids are gonna be like, "You lived through the COVID depression." It's like,
Hope so.
them history books, man, they don't tell it how it was.
Right. Well, I hope we don't have more that we, that our future generations are familiar with it.
I mean, you never know with that government.
You never know. It's always something going on where there's some trickery going on. Like, but we don't have to get into the necessarily nitty gritty of that. I was actually just watching
Oh, we
Bill
should.
Maher, who,
Yeah.
regardless of what side you are, I think he's a pretty funny dude.
I always I'm up late at night watching conspiracy TikToks because I guess my phone knows I'm a conspiracy theorist. My favorite one so far is that the pyramids, you have the triangle, right? And that the triangle is just the tip of the iceberg. And like if you dig down thousands of feet deep, it's like this the Washington Monument, but buried. And it's
Oh,
just like,
shit.
oh man, I love getting into it. I'm so crazy.
I saw the movie Napoleon, and at a portion, they're like they're like in a battle where you can see the pyramids in the background, and I'm thinking to myself, like, there's absolutely no way this ever happened this close to the pyramids in Egypt. They were probably, slightly close to them, but not that close where they were like, oh, this is a nice little backdrop for our battle here. Definitely was epic
Oh,
looking though.
I get so into it. We had a topic on one of our documents there, like the 9/11 squeegee. Like I was talking to I won't go super deep into this, but I was talking to my father-in-law. There was a bomb that went off in Canada that was supposed to make it to the Macy's parade on Thanksgiving, apparently, and they
This
found
year?
like a passport and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, they found a passport on the 9/11 plane that exploded and a building fell on it. Like, yeah, through all this rubble and debris and exploded plane, we found a passport. We know who did it. Like, get out of here, dude. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Yeah,
A
man.
plane crashed into the Pentagon, but we don't have any footage of it. The most national security building on the planet, we didn't have any cameras rolling. No big deal. But I
Yeah, the
digress.
crazy thing, and I guess something like that could never happen these days with technology and the way things are. But back then, we still had, you know, very good footage. Our government had security.
Yeah, I always look at the phones. Like the new Samsung can zoom in all the way to the moon, and you can see the American flag on the moon. But with security cameras and grocery stores, it's all pixelated. We have no idea what the guy looks like that robbed the place. I'm just like, all righty then.
Right, that's it. Let them go.
Crazy.
That's hilarious. Let me see here. Sorry.
John B's on chat if you didn't know, so he might be deep in the trenches on chat.
Not too much, just a little bit of investigation going on here. Monday. What
Yeah,
day is today? Wednesday?
today is Wednesday. Yes.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, I get a slap occasionally from my wife, like, "Hey, stop talking about conspiracy theories," and I'm like, "Everyone needs to know. It was an inside job."
It was an inside job. Yeah, I think there's always a little bit of truth in every one, and everyone, I think it's funny that no conspiracy theorist believes in only one conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
There's a
I
web there somewhere.
I always go back to the guy who spent like 30 grand trying to prove flat earth and he debunked his theory. Uh I was on flat earth for a while. I think if you're on YouTube for more than 5 hours, you can believe anything. Like you can go
Yeah.
down the rabbit
Oh,
hole
absolutely.
forever.
Yeah. I mean, because any narrative, if told in a way that doesn't make you feel like an idiot, could help you believe in what they're trying to tell you.
Oh, of course. For the longest time my wife didn't believe in dinosaurs.
Oh no.
I was like, "You don't believe in fossils?" We went to the museum one time. We took my daughter, and I was so happy to show her all the dinosaurs. And she was like,
That is
You
great.
think that bone's real?" I was like, "I don't know. Maybe they're lying to me."
Yeah, I mean Jurassic Park's a good movie, but we also have some proof over there that we did find them. Maybe that's what's under the pyramids, a giant dinosaur.
Who found them?
Yeah.
That have to do with Bitcoin. I had
Yeah,
that
right. Oh man, I'm out on the Bitcoin. I have no idea about Bitcoin.
that
Still have no
one
idea.
sales guy, he was like, "You know who's buying Bitcoin? Putin, and it's gonna go down to zero." I
Oh,
don't understand crypto technology. I wish I would have got in when Bitcoin was 0.0001 cent, and now if you bought one share, you'd be a billionaire. But I don't understand it all.
right. No, I don't get it at all. I mean, I obviously get the fact that it grew in value, So like if you purchase some, in 2000, what, 8 or something like that,
Yeah.
now it would be worth a lot of money, but the blockchain, everything that's involved with it, I don't I don't understand it at all. The
Yeah,
concept of it.
I was talking to my buddy who's like super into it. He was like, "You got to buy Ethereum," and I was like, "So let's say you make $1 million off of this. Let's say best case scenario. Do you just
Yeah.
like push a button and $1 million goes into your bank account, or are you only like able to use that? Like, I don't really understand."
Yeah, I mean, I guess in theory, I like the idea of a non-governmental controlled money in a way that, like, there are currency exchanges and rates or anything like that. But because of that, there's no real structure to it or way to like keep it, controlled in a way. I mean, I guess I could be completely wrong about this, and I'll probably get some mail on it, but I won't read it. I can assure people that I won't read it because I'm, you know, just figuring out real dollar bills at this point, let
Dude,
alone any other currencies.
I had a guy tell me the other day. He was like, "Do you're the same age as me? So, do you remember $2 bills?"
Oh yeah, I had a lucky $2 bill in my wallet for a while.
Yeah, $2 bills. When I was growing up, $2 bills were pretty standard. You could
Yeah,
go down to the junkyard down here and get paid in $2 bills. That was pretty standard. Now they're
yeah,
like nowhere to be found. And if you have a $2 bill, it's worth this amount of money. And if you find a penny from 1976 with no scratch on the head, it's worth like $500,000. And I
right.
don't understand any of it.
No, no, not at all, man. I don't get it at all. Sorry.
Yeah, super strange. But
Yeah,
we are close to an hour, 48 minutes. That's kind of what we try to keep it at. We don't want to keep it too long. I know everybody's attention span since TikTok came out is pretty slow.
and before
But
that
we
wasn't
are
great
both
either.
sales reps over here at windowcleaner.com. So we have our numbers on the screen. Call us, text us, questions on equipment. We would love to put that order in for you. Once you are ready, you can save the cart, make it super easy, or you can just give us a shout and we'll make your own cart and just process that order for you. That's how we make our cheddar. And any questions you have, just let us know.
Yeah, obviously we know winter's pretty much here at this point. So, if you just are calling to like inquire, if you have questions, looking to maybe get things going in spring, we can definitely help you. And I think it's a good time to do that. So, we're not only here to make sales, but we also want to help you. So, just any questions if you're a beginner or just getting started or a pro and just want to tell me about certain things that I might not know about. Pretty great back and forth.
Exactly, man. But this is the Low Rung Podcast. We will see you next time. Peace.
See you guys.